What's up guys, Braeden again, back with Pyramid. So last time I showed y'all how to control the back traditionally there, and I said in the previous video, there's a lot of different things you can do, like switching off the body triangles and stuff like that. So we're gonna go over that and cover the main hand fighting techniques that will make our offense significantly easier while limiting their defense. So once again, I'm gonna have Joseph in the back. I'm going 1-2, establishing the same positioning that I had last time, but this time we're going to assume that our opponent is actively defending, right? Because if they aren't actively defending, we can submit them with whatever we want, and it's just really not jiu-jitsu at that point. So I'm here. Immediately, he's going to want to control my hands. That's why the positioning of my hands is so important. If I switch my hands and I stab with my bottom hand and I reinforce my top hand, when he 2-on-1s my top hand and strips this off, now I don't have anything to do with this arm. So I really have to focus on this hand coming on the bottom and this hand reinforcing. So now if he strips this bottom hand off, I can still choke. So we're gonna switch off to the side because it's a lot easier to submit people from the side than sitting straight up. So when I'm here, again, my head pressures is what's gonna help me. I'm gonna drive his head to the side with my head, and I'm gonna pull my shoulder back as I fall to the side. So now I'm on my side, but notice the hand that's on bottom is the hand that can go around his neck. If I switch to the other side and I go 1-2, now he's trapped my arm. And this arm is really hard to get a rear naked choke. It's not impossible, but it's a lot harder considering I only have one arm to work with. So we're gonna switch back one more time. Boom, boom. So switching off to a body triangle, there's two main ways to do it. There's for people with shorter legs and for people with longer legs. So Joe was saying he's a smaller guy. I'm a really long guy. I'm like 6'3", 180 pounds. Not super big, but super, super long. So it's really easy for me to just cross my leg over and body triangle, but it's not always that easy. So a lot of times I'll step my outside foot to the hip, and now I'm gonna do like a little shrimp and kind of push my hips out. Now you'll see my foot can hook right at the side of his thigh. Now, this one hook can sometimes suffice. If he's smaller than me like Joe is, I can usually use this hook and kind of control him, but I really want to lock my body triangle. So I'm gonna lock a really small body triangle right here. If you can't lock the body triangle and you can just get your leg out to the outside, I can also take my outside foot to the hip and I wanna step away from him. So now if he tries to move his hips, I have upper body chest to back connection, which is gonna stop his shoulders from rotating, and I have lower body foot to hip connection, which stops him from going both directions. He can only go one direction, which is into my choke, which helps me. So I'm gonna go to a really light body triangle so that I don't choke Joe too much. So from here, he's grabbing my hands, 1-2. My immediate first thought is I need to control this side hand. So I'm gonna take my hands, undo them. I'm gonna grab this hand, and now switch to my other hand. So I have a same side grip on the same side hand. Now, I don't want to grab the wrist. If I grab the wrist and he straightens, I lose my grip. If I move it about 2 inches over and grab his hand, this makes significant difference. If he tries to take his hand back, it's so much harder. Now, usually this hand's still fighting my hand. He doesn't want to get choked, nobody does. So I'm gonna rotate his hand away from me. Now, this takes a lot of his power away. And it's really easy for me to slot this hand out and put it far behind his back. But you notice this leg is not connected anymore. If it's connected, it's gonna be really hard for me to try and put this hand through here. So for that split second, my leg comes open, I put the hand behind the back and I cross over the top. But I don't wanna keep the leg that's hooking his arm on top. There's space right here for him to pull his arm out. So I'm just gonna switch my feet, 1, 2. Now I pull my feet to my butt. So now if Joe tries to get his arm back, it's stuck. And now I have 3 weapons, which are my 2 hands and my 1 head to fight his 1 arm. So now it's real simple. I push, shoot my hand through, and now I can connect my hands here faster than he can grab my hand to defend. So ready? We're gonna race. 1, 2, 3. And I finish my rear naked choke. We'll go over the finishing mechanics in the next one, but that's the general premise. So one more time, a little faster. I'm stabbing, I'm reinforcing, I'm making sure my hands are in the right position. I'm using my head to drive to the side. I take the foot to the hip, shrimp out just a little bit, leg crosses over. If you can, body triangle, do it. If you can't, step on the hip, but make sure I'm keeping active pressure. Now, this hand, I have to isolate this hand on the same side hand, but he's grabbing my top hand. So I take my bottom hand out, I grab the hand first. Now I grab the hand with this same side hand. Now, I rotate the hand away. As I'm pushing this hand away, my leg swings out wide, hand goes behind his back, and I try and get the bend of my knee above his elbow. If I'm below it, he has a lot of space to pull his arm out. So I go above the elbow and I make sure my feet are crossed, bottom over top. Now I have my 3 weapons. I push, I shoot this hand to the shoulder, and now we race and we win. All right, next time we're gonna go over finishing mechanics of a rear naked choke and another main problem that we're gonna address with the back.